What's good, man? So, really, I'm just making this video. I'm kind of freestyling here, man. One of my good friends, known him for a while, he was telling me, man, you should make some videos just talking about life, talking about discipline, talking about your journey. I'm sure you guys don't know, but this last year, 2025, man, I was lucky enough to clear six figures for the first time in my life. I ended up making about 150. Not about, I made 151. And this is coming from a man who has no college degree. I dropped out of school after my sophomore year. I don't have any technical degrees or certifications. And I was able to get up to six figures now. It's not been an easy path, man. There's been a lot of grind, there's been a lot of struggle, and it's been a lot of me having to learn and look inside myself, reflect and grow as a man. So I guess honestly, that's probably what I just want to talk to y'all a little bit about that path. My journey from, not really making any money, from basically working as a door-to-door salesman and getting my way all the way up to where I'm at now, owning a house. I got six figures invested, and then I have a six-figure income as well. Um, so, I don't want to have to go through my whole backstory, man. I want to more so focus on, we could do that, tackle that at a later date, but I want to just more so focus on the habits that, I feel like got me here and the most important stuff. So, number one, if you're anything like me, I used to hate planning. I never used to plan anything. I used to just live my life, you know what I'm saying, on the go, on the fly. Whatever pops up, whatever the homies got, whatever we doing, I'm rolling. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I never really had a real plan that I followed through on, that I executed on. That all changed for me about 5 years ago. So, about 5 years ago, I moved to South Carolina to live with my mom. I got in a real bad financial situation. I was in debt, wasn't paying rent, didn't really have any food at that point in time in my life. So, I moved out here back to South Carolina with my mom. And at that point in my life, bro, um, what am I? I think I'm 29, 30, living with my mom. It's just not where I wanted to be. So I really took a hard look at myself and reflected and had to realize that, like, the reason why I was where I was because of me. So, like, that's number one. You guys hear this word all the time. It's accountability. Men need it, women need it, we all need it. Without accountability, you can't grow. Period, point blank. Without accountability, you cannot grow. You have to hold yourself accountable. If you don't hold yourself accountable, nobody else will. So, right, number one, I started holding myself accountable to all the decisions that I made that got me here, which allowed me to recognize the patterns that I make and change those patterns and find new behaviors. Right. So that's the first thing, bro. Is really just is being accountable. Once you're accountable, then what do you need to start doing? Once I started holding myself to being accountable, I started journaling. All right. Um, and you know what I'm saying? Some people laugh when I tell them I journal. I journal almost every day. Obviously I miss days, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I journal about different things. Sometimes I journal about what happened in the day. Sometimes I journal about something that happened as a kid, and I try to talk about the issue. Sometimes I journal about my past relationships. But the whole point of journaling is just doing the same thing that a therapist does, bro, and that a lot of great men of the past have done, a lot of great philosophers have done. It's challenging yourself, bro. It's challenging yourself to think about decisions you've made, things you've done, emotions you felt, and look at it in a different way. That's how you grow. Number one, you hold yourself accountable. And number two, you analyze decisions and choices and feelings and things you've done, thought, or said. Because once you analyze, that's when you start to see the mistakes you've made. If you're not actually analyzing any of that stuff, you're never going to know the mistakes you've made, and you're never going to see the patterns that you repeat. So you're just going to continue to repeat them and repeat them, and be stuck in the cycle, right? The way you get out of the cycle, the way you get out of this loop of your life that you've built for yourself unconsciously, is you become conscious of the decisions, the thoughts, and the things that you do until you're conscious of what you think, what you say, what you do, and how you react, you'll never be able to change. Once you start being conscious of those things, that's now when you're able to really grow and learn yourself, right? And make some of these decisions and change the way you think. Yo, this flowing, bro. Okay, no, 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 chill, chill, chill. Guys, stay locked in, stay locked in. So, but it's freestyle too. But all right, right. So journaling, okay. I've been journaling every day now. I mean, honestly, bro, it's probably been 3 or 4 years. I have multiple journals filled up. Um, that has had a significant impact on the way I think, the way I process information, and the way I move daily, right? Like that has drastically changed me and also has helped increase my emotional maturity. Um, so I do think, excuse me, I do think everybody should journal, but especially as a man who's trying to be a high driven, high disciplined, highly motivated man, it's a non-negotiable. You have to journal because that also will allow you to hold yourself accountable. It will also allow you to check in with yourself because men like us, men that are really striving to do something great, the level that you're working at, in order to continue to work at that level, you do have to take care of the mental, bro. And if you're solo dolo grinding it out, the only way to take care of that mental is to journal, brother. That's how you take care of that mental, bro. Right? Like, so, you might think it's corny, you might think it's cheesy, but I promise you, some of the most driven men, they journal, bro. And it could just be about whatever you want. Don't let that negative connotation that comes with journaling affect you from getting started, bro. There's some days where I write 2 lines. Some day my journal just says, for the day, we grind and the journey continues, bro. Because there's really nothing for me to say or be said. It's just execution mode. Sometimes I fill up a page in my little notebook, bro. So you know what I'm saying? Like everybody journals different, but it's just all about getting that exercise in, getting that mental stimulation and challenging yourself. So if you are getting started journaling, I'm just gonna go ahead and go over a few different things that you can look into to get started journaling. Number one, the basic journaling. Just talking about your day, right? So talking about your day, talking about any situations that may have rubbed you the wrong way, why those situations rubbed you the wrong way, how you reacted in those situations, but then taking it that next step further and challenging yourself to say, how could I have reacted different in that situation? Right. So that's a very basic thing you can journal about. Like I also mentioned earlier, you can journal about if you have any childhood trauma, um, talk about what happened in a situation. If you still hold any grudges or negative emotions about those situations, if you could go back in that situation, what would you do if you were back in that situation again? Um, Things like that. Getting those negative emotions and things that are shaping you to make decisions and things that are shaping your thought process unconsciously that you don't even realize out on paper and talking through those things. That way you can either realize that it's shaping you or just work through it. Right. So that's another thing you could talk about. You could talk about future stuff, right? Future state, where you want to be in 5 years, where you want to be in 10 years, how you plan on getting to those places. There's numerous different things that you can journal about. I've also looked into doing some cognitive behavioral therapy myself through journaling. Um, that's also something that you can look into. And then if you have any mental illnesses, right? If you're struggling with depression, ADHD, any of the above, this is not a medication. This is not a quick fix, but journaling will help you recognize your patterns before you spiral. And if it is something that you're trying to improve on, journaling is something that can help you do that. All right. So that's point number two, man. That's the second way that I started kind of changing my life. So number one was accountability. All right. So I started being accountable for the decisions and choices I've made and what put me in the situation I was. And then number two, the second thing was journaling. So journaling is really just taking a look back and analyzing the decisions and choices that you've made so that you can make better decisions and choices in the future. All right. So now the third thing is going to be planning. All right. So pretty much just like every person does, we set, I think for the most part, everybody sets really shitty goals at the start of the year. So what I mean by shitty goals is number one, it's not a smart goal. If you don't know what a smart goal is, you can check it out. But I'll tell you, it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and you have a timetable that you're going to hit it in. But that's just the first part of setting a good goal. Something that I think a lot of people don't realize is with goals like you put in, you get out what you put in. So, what do I mean by that? If I spend 5 minutes and I say, what are my goals for 2026? And I only put in 5 minutes, that means I'm probably going to only put in 5 minutes worth of effort in 2027 of the next year. If I take 2 days to plan my goals for the next year, best believe I'm gonna put in more than 10 minutes of effort because now that I've practiced so much and planned so much for that goal, it's just gonna pop up more, bro. It's the same thing as athletes that practice at a high level. So the best athletes, the the peak athletes, what sets them apart is they practice so much. And how does that make a difference? The more you practice, when you're in a situation that you've practiced, your reaction, it's not even something you think about anymore. You don't have to think about what is the best decision in this situation. Your body just reacts because instead of you only practicing it 2 times, I've practiced it 100 times. So if I'm racing you and I've raced down this turn 500 times and you've only done it twice, there's no shot you going to catch the inside corner to the next corner as fast as I am. And I'm going to be able to do it while thinking about the next corner, right? So it's that same logic and that same thinking applies to people who plan intensely for the next year or for anything in general compared to people who don't plan. So how does that carry over? So somebody who's planned intensely, let's say one of their goals does hit and I've planned intensely. If my goal hits, maybe I'll have a small celebration, but I'm on to the next thing, bro. I'm already thinking about what my next move is because I've already gone through this 500 times. So me hitting it, I'm not tripping. I'm not like uh, breathing a sigh of relief because I practiced it so much. I already knew it was gonna happen, bro. It wasn't a maybe, it wasn't an if, it was a win. I know this is gonna happen. If I barely planned for the year, if I've only taken 5 minutes to plan, once I hit the goal, I'm like, whew, I hit the goal, thank God, boom, boom, boom. And that's it, bro. There's no extension, there's no next level. If I've been planning for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, thinking about every which way to go about it, best believe I got the next step already planned out and popping. Right. So that's a huge difference. Is the level of intention that you put in, the level of time that you put in, those are all things that you will reap the benefits of as your goal setting. Right. So, uh, like, I'm not really the whole big New Year's sort of guy. I do reset every year. Um, but just make sure that when you're planning goals, you're taking more than 5 minutes, bro. Like when you're planning your goals for your year, right? Like you really gotta understand, bro. Every year of your life, this is game 7 NBA finals for the ring, bro. This is the Super Bowl every year, bro. Every year of your life, bro. Like that's how you gotta start planning for these years of your life, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how I plan, bro. So to tell you guys specifically how I plan, bro, I have a planner. Um, I'm about to go grab that. I'm about to go grab it real quick, matter of fact. All right, so the planner I use, it's a Clever Fox Weekly Planner Pro Premium. I guess I could put the link of the planner in there. I've used this planner. This is gonna be my third year that I use this planner now. So first page, what is it? What does it have you fill out? What is the vision for the life I want? So I got to take some time to envision the life I want. What are my core values? I got to write down my core values. What am I passionate about? What brings me joy? What is my life's purpose? What is my mission? What should I avoid to live a happier and more fulfilling life? All right. Boom. So just think about that right there, bro. Just think about them 5 things I just said. If you never thought about those 5 things, as I've never really thought about those 5 things and wrote down those 5 things to start out a year before, if you take that serious at the start of every single one of your years and you look at that, you're just going to move a little bit different now because like now you've taken the time to align your core values every single year with yourself, right? That makes a difference. So boom, right? That's one thing. So the next thing, all right, they have 8 major categories of your life and life development that they make you black out. So they have health and fitness, business and career, family and friends, relationship and romance, finance, personal development, fun and recreation, spiritual. All right. So now we're breaking it down. Now we're getting specific, bro. Okay. So I've never really, before these 3 years ago, bro, I never really set real goals. I never had a goal in my whole life that I don't think I set for a year. Maybe besides like buying a car, bro, when I was like in high school, or buying like some video. Don't take a year to buy no video games. But buying a car, probably that was it. Okay. So now, out of those 8 categories, what it's gonna have you do, it's gonna have you say, what do you want your life to be like in all those categories 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and 20 years from now, brother. Listen, man. When I tell you that I've never planned out my life past a single year, even a year in some of those categories. So me having to go 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, it made me think a lot, bro. It made me think more than I ever thought about my future. Um, and to get specific and pick out specific things. All right. And this is gonna circle into something that I'm gonna tap into a little bit later. But boom, all right. So the next page, bro. So now the next page, same thing. It's those exact same 8 categories, but now it just locks in on the 1 year goals. This is all in this planner, bro. I'm doing this every single year, bro. All right. So now it locks into the 1 year goals. So for the 1 year goals, for each of those 8 categories, you got to pick 5 specific top goals for each of those 8 categories that you want to hit. And then you got to say why you want to hit it. So right off top, that means we talking about writing out 40 different goals total. All right. And then what's the next page? So boom, the next page is now my 3 month goals. It just plain crazy, bro. I can't even tell you how long it took me to fill it out the first time. So boom, now we got the 3 month goals. Okay. So with those 3 month goals, we're gonna take our top 5 goals and we're gonna break those down into 3 months, which is basically just a quarter. It's a quarter of the year. All right. So now I've went from a full overview of my life from 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years to 1 year and 5 goals to 3 months. Right, bro? So like that is the process of taking a big goal and making it smaller. All right. So boom. After that, we got the monthly view. So I'm gonna just go, we're gonna forward ahead a little bit. So boom. And then in this planner, bro, the weekly view is you gotta fill out your personal to-dos. You gotta fill out 8 different habits and skills in a little checkbox that you're gonna do daily and check off. And then you gotta write down your weeks. You gotta write down a win every day, a lesson learned every day, and how I'll improve next week, every single day. All right. So boom. Now the next part in this book is the monthly review. So this planner has a monthly review in it. So this monthly review at the end of every month that asks you, what were your biggest wins? It's gonna ask you, what were the biggest lessons learned? You have to rate yourself at each of those 8 categories every single month, 1 out of 10, bro. All right. It's going to ask you what tasks were not accomplished. How do I feel about my process or my progress? Okay. I am excited and looking forward to, things I will make myself happy, things I will do to make myself happy next month, and how I'll improve next month. So think about that, bro. Think about all that I just said. Think about the level of intention. Think about that level of intention, focus, and discipline that I'm putting forward on my year, bro. That I'm putting forward on my actions, bro. And you got to realize what sort of impact that has on the progress that you see, tracking all that type of stuff. All right. So planning, right? So we said accountability, we said journaling, and we said planning. All right. So what the planner is going to help, the next thing is going to be execution, bro. Now, honestly, bro, out of everything I done covered so far, bro, execution might be the most important thing out of everything, bro. Execution is period point blank one of the most important things that you could do in life, bro. Because you could be the dumbest person in the world, and if you constantly doing stuff, you're gonna win, bro. You're gonna win. Period. You don't have to be smart in life to win. You just have to not be scared to do. You have to not be scared to take action. The man who is unafraid to take action, the man who's constantly in the arena fighting the battles, is going to always gain more experience than the man who's looking down at the man fighting in the arena, bro. I've messed up the quote, but that's one of my favorite quotes, man in the arena, bro. All right, so execution, bro. Execution is just hands down the most important thing that you can do to progress yourself in anything. If there's something that you want to do, if there's something that you want to accomplish, don't wait. Do it now. Fail now. Fail as many times as you can, bro. You heard all of this before. And if you haven't heard it before, well, I'm glad like I could be the first person to tell you, bro. Failure is the best experience. Not school, not getting advice from somebody, it's yourself failing because you're going to know that lesson 100%. You're going to know what works for you, bro. So, out of everything I said before, if there's only one thing you take away, my guy, my brother, my bro, my broski, if there's only one thing, if there's only one thing you take away, man, it's that properly executing and just taking action will change your life on a drastic level that you really wouldn't even believe. And it's not small actions. It's not actions when you feel like it. It's always action. Always, always. It's the difference between the dude who only goes up to one girl and asks her out, and now he feels defeated and he's moping, versus the dude who asks out 100 chicks, bro. The guy who asks out 100 chicks, whatever his goal is, I promise you, he's gonna get to his goal before the guy that asked out one chick. And like, it's like, oh my God, she didn't want to. Come on, bro. Put them numbers up, put them shots up, bro. No matter what you do in life, put them numbers up, put them shots up. So we got accountability, we got journaling, we got planning, and we got execution. All right. So what was the next thing that I talked about in the planner that I did? Right. It's after you're executing, it's going to be reflection. Okay. Reflecting, analyzing, processing. All right. So after I've executed for a month, now after I've executed for a week, do I take a look back at all the stuff that I've done? This rolls straight into everything is going to start rolling into each other, bro. So this rolls into journaling, this rolls into planning, is going to be reflecting, right? So, like I said, number one, the most important thing is execution, period, point blank. If you execute, even if you don't do anything else, I promise you, you're closer to winning than somebody who isn't executing, period. At the end of the day, somebody who's trying is always closer to winning and making it out than somebody who is not trying, no matter what we are talking about. All right. So the next step is now that you're executing, bro, to take that next level up, it's reflecting on your execution. It's saying like what did work, what didn't work, what did I accomplish? So for me in my planner, that's that monthly review. Every single month I review myself, bro. I have to hold myself accountable to whatever I planned every single month. Now that's when the year goals that I used to make and I didn't hit, that they started getting hit now, because every single month I'm having to look back at like what my yearly goals were and what I did accomplish and what I didn't accomplish in those things. And this is where, bro, this is where like the rubber meets the road, bro. Like this is where true separation starts to happen, bro. Because to be able to have this level of self-awareness and discipline, it really takes a man who's like trying to do something with his life. This isn't something that you just happen to walk in to start doing, bro. Like you don't just start having this level of intention in your life. You get to this level of intention in your life when you're really trying to change your life, when you're really trying to get somewhere, when you're really trying to accomplish a goal, bro. That's when you get to this level. And when you do get to this level, I promise you, these are the tools that you need to be able to go from where you are now to where you want to go to. Because this is how I did it, bro. I mean, I've gone from, in the job I'm at now, I've been there 4 years now, bro. My first year, I made 60K. My second year, I think I made 75K. My third year, I made what, bro? What did I make? I think I made 89. And then last year, I just made 151. Money has increased every year. All right. And it's not out of luck or situation. This is what I've planned for. This is what my intention has been since I started. This is what I told myself I was going to do. This is what I've worked for. So like even now that I'm here, I'm not even surprised. One of my friends said, "Man, like what would you have said if somebody told you that you would have been here when you started?" I just laughed and I literally said, "You know exactly what I was thinking when I started, bro. You knew I was going to be here. I knew I was going to be here. I told you I was going to be here. This was the goal from the jump." All right. So that reflection, bro, that reflection is going to allow you to make changes to the plan. If you're playing a sports, which just so we're on the same page, as a man who's trying to push into the upper echelon of men or trying to be a high earning man, you have to realize like life is a game, right? Life is something that can be analyzed, broken down, strategized. It's a game, bro. So like treat it as such. If like if it's halftime and you're down, you don't just run out there and do the exact same thing. Not if you're trying to win, right? Because that's leaving it up to chance. If you're trying to win at halftime and you're down, you strategize. You call out where you're falling short, and you call out where you're doing good, and you put together a new game plan. You can't have a halftime game plan in your life unless you're taking the time to reflect. So you have to reflect, bro. Have to reflect. And honestly, man, that's it. Like that's legitimately um the I would say the skills and the tools that you need to get yourself from wherever you are to wherever you want to get to, bro. Because it's not about a job. It's not about where you're currently working at. It's about your mindset, bro. Right? It's always about your mindset, bro. Because the job that I have now that's allowed me to be a high income earner, I got this job from somebody that I used to work with at GameStop 10 years ago. So how does that relate, bro? Right? When I worked that job at GameStop, I came in that bitch every day like I ran the store, bro. I didn't go in there to joke around, bro. Like I was competing with the assistant manager, trying to see who could sell the most insurance plans for the video. Yeah, I was one of them guys. Competing with the assistant manager, trying to see who could sell the most insurance plans for the games, bro. I'm treating every single job that I had back in the day like it's my last job, bro. Like it's the only job I'm ever gonna work. Like everything matters because everything you do does matter. So boom, because I treated that job like that, bro, I made an impression on that assistant manager. So fast forward 8 years, he gets to a job that he really likes, where the culture is great. He calls me up. He says, "Hey man, I know we haven't talked in a minute. This team that I'm on for this, we really need some sharp people." They asked the team if we had any referrals, any people that we had worked for in the past or worked with in the past that really left an impression on us. And I thought about you. That's how I got into the job that I'm in now, bro. I'm like the only person at this company that doesn't have a degree. All right. I'm like one of the few people in the company that hasn't worked in the tech space before, right? And it's all because I treated the small things like they mattered, bro. If I went into that GameStop job, like whatever, it's just a part-time job until I get to boom, 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 I wouldn't be at where I'm at now, bro. Crazy. Like it's a real life example of how the little things make a difference in your life, bro. How everything you do adds up to the big things, bro. You cut a corner here, you cut a corner there, it's gonna come back, bro. Like your reality is what you make it. Your reality is how you move in your day to day. That's what shapes your reality, bro. So not to get off topic, bro, because I came on here to talk about these specific things and we've talked about it, bro. So we're gonna go back through it again, man. Right. The top things that I've did to change my life to go from being a low income earner. I'm back in the day, bro. Don't even get me started. I've worked 2 jobs. I've worked 80, 90-hour work weeks. Before I worked here, I used to work at Wendy's, managing a Wendy's restaurant. I was working 80 to 90 hours a week, brother. 80 to 90 hours a week. I had worked 24 hours with a short break before. Crazy stuff. I have some insane stories about that. So, what are the tools and the things that I needed to do? How did I change myself? And what was that change that I implemented in my life to get me from where I was, right? Of not making a lot of money as a guy that has no college degree, no technical degree, no nothing, basically just a dude, an average dude, right? To now making made 150 and gearing up crazy. Gearing up, I'm gearing up this year to make 200 to 250, bro. Period. So 100%. I'm gearing up to make 200 to 250 this year. Once again, as a guy that has no college degree and as a guy that has no certifications, nothing, bro. All right. So these tools and this skill set, these things that I did. So we're going to go through. I'm about to mess it up. We're going to try it out. Number one, we got accountability, right? So after accountability, we got planning. What was number two? Was number two planning, bro? See, I'm freestyling, bro. I don't write any of this down. Okay. So number one, we got accountability, bro. All right. I'm pretty sure number two was planning, bro. Um, so if number two was planning, what's gonna have to come after plan? I'm missing something, bro. I'm missing something, bro. Uh I don't know, man. Y'all gonna have to rewind. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. Y'all might have to rewind because I think I'm about to miss something. But I think it's like accountability. I know planning's gonna be in there. I know execution's gonna be in there. I know reflecting's gonna be in there. Um, Past that, this is what happens when you freestyle, bro. I'm not gonna cut it out either. Just so y'all really know that this was like off the dome. And I really only did this because one of my, like I mentioned in the beginning, bro, one of my good friends was just like, hey man, like you always talking to me about this type of stuff, bro. You should make some of these videos, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, man, let me just go ahead and get the little studio mic, man, hop on the mic and just let me spill out my heart for a little bit, bro. So I hope that this reaches somebody who uses it and who needs it. And yeah, man, just rewind for them things to do. I'll put it in the description though. All right, Sage out, man.